The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people. All this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. Credit rating. Who in Central Asia gets loans more often? Made in Kazakhstan. Comfortable to wear and now easy to buy. Preschool education in Tajikistan, when parents are against kindergartens. And coming right up, headlines from Central Asia. Turkmenistan is opening its own permanent representative office of the International Atomic Energy Agency. The decree was signed by the president of the country, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. The task of running the representative office was delegated to the country's embassy in Austria. To note, Turkmenistan became a full-fledged member of the IAEA at the beginning of 2016. The opening of the country's own permanent representative office is the concluding stage of the country's joining of this intergovernmental agency of the United Nations. Over the past couple of decades, Tajikistan has lost almost 30% of its ice caps. This was announced by the country's president, Emomali Rahmon, during an international conference in Dushanbe. The head of the state noted that in the last couple of years, the area of the largest continental ice cap, Fechunka, reduced by 2 square kilometers. In addition, the dislodgement of ice caps is causing special concern. A couple of them have started shifting back in 2011. Over this time, they have destroyed roads, bridges, and populated areas. But there's also the danger of the ice cap movements causing the displacement of tectonic plates, and then the consequences may become irreversible. In Kazakhstan, private property in the total amount of 2.3 trillion tenge has been officially declared, and these are just the interim results of the campaign on bringing monetary funds and property out of the shadow economy. The campaign has been ongoing for a second year in a row, and up to this point around 100,000 citizen applications have been reviewed. To note, the temple of official declaration of funds and property went up after some of its official procedures were simplified on the legislative level. Kazakhstan's campaign will continue until the end of 2016. Countries have rich histories, including credit histories. Over the years of their independence, the countries of Central Asia were active in attracting foreign loans. Kyrgyzstan alone received more than $7.5 billion from foreign financial institutions. And nevertheless, the credit rating of the countries of Central Asia overall is evaluated as average. Our correspondent brings us the report on how this assessment is formed and its consequences. Not all countries can afford to take out loans. The amount of the loan, the interest rate, and the possibility itself of getting credit all depend on the country's credit rating. The credit rating is evaluated by independent rating agencies. Mostly this is a monopoly of 3 large agencies, and they're also called the Big Three. They are all based in the United States. Overall, these agencies do not reveal the details and methodology of their evaluation. Thus, to a great degree, they use subjective criteria. Today, only 2 countries in Central Asia have been given a credit rating, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan. What's more, Kazakhstan was the first to receive a credit score, not only among the countries of Central Asia, but also of all the countries of the post-Soviet space. This happened in 2004. In 2011, the country received its highest credit score. At the moment, Kazakhstan's credit score is BBB, as assessed by Standard & Poor's, perhaps the leading agency. BBB also from the Fitch agency. This is not a very high score, but for now it's not that low. Of course, all this is quite subjective, but a certain level, which determines the investment rating of so-called growth and junk loans, even though this is not official yet, is a BB+ level.
Инвестиционные рейтинги вот так называемых там бросовых или мусорных еще называют, хотя на самом деле такого понятия нет, это вот уровень BB+.
It must be mentioned that countries with even a very low investment rating can receive loans from international organizations. But the lower the rating, the higher the interest rate, and vice versa. As a rule, large financial organizations such as the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Islamic Bank, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development provide credit to Central Asian countries. The main projects for which these organizations provided loans are construction of large infrastructural projects, support of certain sectors of the economy, and realization of anti-crisis programs. Kyrgyzstan's credit history, in comparison with Kazakhstan, is not that mature. In 2015, Moody's assessed Kyrgyzstan's investment rating for the very first time as B2. This is lower than Kazakhstan's score, but higher than that of Venezuela, Egypt, and Belarus. Perhaps it makes sense to get 2 more ratings from the Russian RA expert and China's Daegon global rating. Then the rating will be relatively more objective, because the big 3 credit agencies are often accused of political bias. Over the years of its independence, Kyrgyzstan received more than $7.5 billion in the forms of grants and credits. Out of the entire volume of received loans, 28% were invested by Kyrgyzstan into the development of its transport infrastructure, 22% into the energy sector, and 11% into agriculture. In the midterm perspective, experts forecast a lowering of Kyrgyzstan's as well as Kazakhstan's ratings. This is connected with the fall in the price of oil and a slowdown in the growth tempos of the economies of Russia and China, on which the countries of Central Asia strongly depend. In Tajikistan, it is the parents who are not so keen on sending their children to kindergartens. Majority of them prefer to homeschool their young ones. That is why only 12% of the country's children attend preschools. All this, even with the country boasting the biggest kindergarten in the world. Our correspondent in Dushanbe brings us the details of this paradoxical situation. To get the elder son to do his homework, to feed the younger one, and during the break, to learn children rhymes with her preschoolers. Dilbare Bodova manages to do everything. The mother of these children is not even thinking of sending them to kindergarten, not because there are no places. In the district where she lives, there are 3 kindergartens. It is just that the woman believes that no one can prepare the children better than her. We have a schedule for all the activities. We're preparing the elder one for school, and will soon begin to do the same one with the younger son. He already knows a couple of rhymes. Tajikistan does not have the problem that is encountered in many countries, when people sign up to wait in line for their children to get into a preschool once the child is born. The same is not only in the capital city, but also in the rural areas. It costs from $7 to $10 per month to have one's child attend a preschool. Nevertheless, according to long-standing traditions, mothers prefer to take care of their young children. That is why only 12% of the children in Tajikistan attend kindergartens.
В настоящее время в республике действует 577 учебных дошкольных образовательных учреждений.
In 2015, the number of preschools in the country stood at 577, teaching 88,351 children. From 2014 to 2015, the number of preschools in the country increased by 31.
88 351 детей. Только за 14-15 год в республике увеличилось количество дошкольных образований до 31.
This is a regular public kindergarten in the Tursunzada district. It is mostly attended by children of those working at the aluminum plant, which is located near here. That is why the doors of this kindergarten open at 6 in the morning. Otherwise, parents will be late for the morning shift. It is still dark, but the teachers are already at work. We're going to draw in the middle. If we open it, we'll get a Christmas tree. This kindergarten was built in the 1980s. It has a capacity for 320 children. 3 groups of children are taught in Tajik and 10 in Russian. Here, just like in all other kindergartens across the country, children are engaged in sports and music and are prepared for school. In the morning we do exercise, and then there are classes of mathematics, Russian and Tajik language. The children learn rhymes and songs. Despite the fact that there are still many people across the country who prefers homeschooling, like Dilbar, experts are calling upon parents to send their children to preschools.
Они не растут эгоистами, они растут в коллективе, и вот это у них
The children grow up unselfish. They are taught in a collective environment and therefore get a sense of a community. They care for each other, help each other, and they're more responsive to learning new things than children who are homeschooled.
К занятиям у них больше, чем нежели ребенок индивидуально один занимается дома.
It is interesting that with such an ambiguous approach to preschool education, nevertheless, the biggest kindergarten in the world was built in this country. $3 million were allocated from the national budget for its construction. The country's best teachers work in this presidential kindergarten, and its facilities meet all international standards. The wide range of Kazakhstani brands. In Astana, the first shopping mall, which sells clothes and accessories exclusively of the Made in Kazakhstan brand, opened its doors. Our correspondent in Astana brings us the report of how Kazakhstan's retail market is supporting local designers. Israilova has her own tailoring studio, which specializes in the making of women's clothes. Her designer clothes enjoy great popularity due to their interesting style and optimal prices. The designer even had to increase the number of tailors working in the shop, from 1 to 6. But the problem with retail sales locations for a long time remained unresolved. If I could afford a boutique myself, to rent out a place in a good location for a reasonable price, this is the first issue. And the second is that there are also the costs of the wages of the sales personnel, security, and utilities. Today, Kunduz has the opportunity to put up for sale her designer clothes in the multi-brand mall right in the center of Astana. In this mall, all the products are manufactured by Kazakhstani designers. This quite patriotic idea of creating this type of a shopping mall belongs to Aliya Abdubayitova and Janar Suleimanova. We traveled to Moscow for exhibitions, and recently exhibitions are being held often in Kazakhstan. And during one of such exhibitions, we discovered that the work of our Kazakhstani designers is on par with designers from abroad. The businesswomen have already concluded agreements with 40 of Kazakhstan's designers. The multi-brand mall has resolved the problems of many entrepreneurs who before could not afford to pay for their own boutique. The prices are reasonable, the designs are very interesting. I will surely find something for myself.
Мы идем от масс-маркета до премиум-сегмента.
From mass markets to the premium segment, in terms of the range of sizes, the products are also very diverse. Of course, the majority of designers make clothes for the S and M sizes, but there are 5 to 6 brands which present all the sizes, from 42 to 50-52. Therefore, any woman who comes to our store will be able to find something new for herself.
То есть, в принципе, любая женщина, придя к нам в магазин, сможет подобрать себе обновочку.
To find a look for every occasion, it is all possible with the clothes of Kazakhstan's designers, thanks to the professional image designer Aida Yesenyalina. The way that I look every day will change a lot.
Сейчас претерпит значительные изменения.
Thanks to the new project of the domestic multi-brand store, many shoppers were able to familiarize themselves for the first time with a range of made in Kazakhstan products. And judging by the level of sales in the first month, many are ready to wear locally designed clothes. You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.
Kazakh TV.